In the time you're enrolled in the dental assistant training program, you might encounter circumstances that disrupt your normal ability to complete program requirements. This disruption might be relatively small, like a short-term illness, or it might last months, like a deployment or an extended medical leave. Since we don't want temporary circumstances to derail your ability to complete the program, our staff can work with you to set up an accommodation plan if it's necessary. Accommodations can include late penalty waivers in Canvas for a specific time range, check-in meetings with program staff to discuss your progress and set up supports, or temporary exclusion from progress reporting. Accommodations are handled differently based on the trainee's circumstances, and they usually, but not always, come hand in hand with taking leave from the clinic. For any non-emergency accommodations, including any scheduled leave, it's a trainee's responsibility to inform program staff of the leave and to request any accommodations for themselves. Keep in mind that accommodations are not automatically granted for any trainees taking leave. For example, if you take a month of medical leave from the clinic, your work in Canvas would still be due on schedule. If you know you have an upcoming leave and you don't think you'll be able to keep up with Canvas work during that time, you'll need to send a completed accommodation form to program staff before you go on leave. Having an accommodation form on file helps document the scope and duration of any accommodations you requested, along with any follow-up steps like check-ins once you return to the clinic. Most trainees taking non-emergency leaves don't need any accommodations, but they are available. Emergency accommodations are different. If a trainee experiences emergency circumstances and can't contact program staff, their supervisor should alert the program on the trainee's behalf as soon as possible. Once the trainee returns from emergency leave, they should complete an accommodation form to document the scope and duration of accommodations and to set up any ongoing supports. If you know you're going to be taking an upcoming leave, or you're in a situation where you know you're not going to be able to complete a program requirement, fill out and submit an accommodation request form. You can find a link to this form in Canvas in the Essential Course Documents page. You'll need to include which accommodations you're requesting, when you need them to start, and when you expect them to end. Once it's complete, submit the form to program staff. It's important to send in an accommodation request as soon as possible. If you're requesting accommodations for work in Canvas, you'll need to submit the completed form before that coursework is due. Otherwise, accommodations won't be granted. In emergency circumstances, like a sudden hospitalization, of course, accommodations can be granted after the fact. The one type of accommodation that doesn't require a request form might occur if you're having technical issues in Canvas. If you can't complete homework for the week due to a technical issue, and you know you won't be able to submit it until after the due date, you'll need to submit a help ticket in Canvas. The ticket will do two things. First, it will help you get the tech support you need, and second, it will document that you did reach out for help before your assignments were due. Once the technical issue is resolved, any late penalties can be waived if necessary. A help ticket is only required for technical issues like page errors. For all non-technical issues, an accommodation form is required. It might be the case that your circumstances change while you're on leave. Maybe you took a medical leave and only asked for minor accommodations, but the situation gets more serious and you realize you need more support. If that's the case, reach out to program staff as soon as possible. We can adjust your accommodation plan to make sure you have the best chance of success in the training program and that you get all the support we can provide.